What's going on, everybody? My name is Michael Weir, and I'm excited to talk to you guys about Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. And the main reason I'm excited to talk to you guys about this movie is because I loved it. I finally came across a Friday the 13th movie that I could tell you I will rewatch many times in the future. Let's do the fucking review.
Darren, we better turn around.
Why?
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
So Friday the 13th, Jason Lives, this is the movie. This is the one that probably should have been called A New Beginning, a new start to the franchise. Now, we reviewed A New Beginning last week. It is my least favorite in the series so far. I did not like the Jason swap. I liked the idea behind it, did not like the execution, didn't like the victims in the movie. I didn't like anything about that movie. I felt it retread a lot of 1 through 4. But I'll tell you what, 6 is its own movie, and I love that they brought him to life at the beginning of this movie. Like, it was done great. Like, I can't believe I've missed this movie. I'm 31, almost 32 years old, and I've missed this movie all my life. How many times could I have watched this in the past? That's how I felt when I finished this movie last night. I was like, this is a fantastic slasher movie. The synopsis of this movie, guys, you've got Jason, who comes back from the dead because he is raised from the dead by Tommy Jarvis accidentally. I also like the new actor playing Tommy Jarvis in this movie. I really do. But after the events of part 5, Tommy grabs the mask. He heads to Jason's grave, and he's like, I've just got to make sure that Jason's really dead. He's got one of the crazy people from the house with him. So he gets there. He gets to the grave. They dig it up. They find the coffin. His buddy's like, okay, there's the coffin. Let's go. He's like, no, I got to open it. And the guy's like, I don't recommend it. He's like, no, I got to make sure his body's there. He opens it up. His body's got bugs and worms all over the face. It's a great visual. And then he takes this stake. He's so upset with Jason, he takes this stake and he stabs it into him several times and he leaves it there. And then he goes to get gas because he's going to burn the body because he wants to make sure there's no chance that Jason can ever live again. But lightning strikes the same place multiple times, something that shouldn't be able to happen, but it does. And then we get zombie Jason, and right off the bat I was like, this is going to be good. And it is. Oh my god. So then you've got Jason, who wants to go back to Camp Crystal Lake, or Camp Blood, or as it's now known as, Camp Forest Green. That's right, Camp Forest Green, where you can safely send your kids because enough time has passed and we got the whole Camp Crystal Lake, Camp Blood thing out of the way. We call it Camp Forest Green. There's kids at the camp now. Not only are there counselors, but there's a lot of kids, and things are going generally okay until Jason has been revived and he's going back. And he's ready to clear out the camp. And that's basically all the things I could tell you about this movie. Jason goes on a tirade of killing from this point on, and then the ending happens. And maybe I'll get into that a little bit with my likes and dislikes. And since we're talking about my likes and dislikes, let's get into the things I liked about this movie, and there are a lot. Right off the bat, we're going to talk about something we've already barely covered, and that is the opening to this movie is my favorite in the franchise so far. Looking back on the first 5 movies, all the different openings that have been, this is my favorite opening. I love him getting revived, becoming a zombie, going into Camp Crystal Lake. Like, it's just a great opening. A couple more things I'll just tick off right off the bat. You've got a Scooby-Doo-like chase. Like, the music is better in this movie too, which is something we'll cover in a minute. But like, there's a car chase where I swear to you, I looked at my wife and I was like, this seems like something out of a Scooby-Doo movie. Like, that's what it felt. You've got the police chasing this car and it's doing all these weird tricks, and the music in the background, it felt like a Scooby-Doo movie. Or maybe Scooby-Doo took inspiration from that, or maybe it took inspiration from Scooby-Doo. The point I'm making here is that one and the same, and I enjoyed that. The next thing I liked was the RV flip. I love when that RV flipped. Like, Jason does not give a fuck in this movie, and it's made him so much more than just a serial killer, because he kills that one girl in the bathroom. We'll talk about that in a little while. And then he goes over and he takes that knife and he just shoves it in to the driver's ear, and the driver flips the RV because of it. And the whole RV, Jason doesn't give a fuck. He's like, you know what, I'm already undead, fuck you. And he stabs him in the side of the head. The RV flips, it crashes, and he just pops out of the side door like Vin Diesel in Fast and Furious movie. It was fantastic. I also really like the shiny machete. The shiny machete is cool. It's different, you know, but it really is like, this is the first time that I feel like I'm watching a Jason movie, like a Friday the 13th. This is what, in my mind, Jason is. He's got the shiny machete, he's got the hockey mask that's all cut up, and it's even got a bullet hole in it now, and he really is Jason. Next thing we'll talk about are the kills in this movie. I finally found a movie where I enjoy almost all of the kills, and I have 3 noteworthy kills in my opinion. The first one is the bike kill. So there's 2 people on a bike, and he just takes a machete and he right through both the people on the bike. That was cool. That was unique, and I liked that. Then there's the smiley face tree. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. He takes this dude, and he whips him so hard into a tree. Not only does he rip his arm off that's holding a machete, the one he uses for the rest of the movie, but the guy smacks the tree so hard that he leaves his blood on like a smiley face imprint. I don't think the smiley face was supposed to be that guy's face. It was just carved into the tree maybe, but it's got blood all over it. It's a really cool visual. And the final one happens inside the RV before the crash that we already talked about. So the guy and the girl, they're banging in the RV. Jason cuts the power because he's like, I'm sick of this noise in my camp. And he pulls the RV plug out, and they're like, oh, hey, we got to get out of here. So they turn the backup battery on and they drive away. And you think, hey, they're okay. And I'm like, I bet Jason's in there somewhere. And I'm expecting him to be under the bed because that's the trope the original 4 or 5 movies would have done, where they would have had him under the bed and he would have killed somebody. And I was like, here we go. He's going to be under the bed. But he's in the bathroom, and he grabs her and he yanks her into the bathroom. And he closes the bathroom door, and they're beating each other up, and he takes her face and he slams her so hard into the side of the RV that like her face imprints on the outside. Completely unrealistic, but it was fantastic for this movie. And the final thing I'll say is just following Jason around in this movie as he tries to clean the camp out from visitors. Like he just wants this camp to be left alone, and he got all these people on his property, and you kind of understand. You're like, yeah, they don't belong here. Yeah, they shouldn't have changed the name like that. I really love that. Jason goes through this thing, and he's just wiping people out. Now, you don't see the kill, but at one point, the sheriff opens the door to one of the cabins, and there's just blood all over everything in the room. And I was like, that's what I've been waiting for. That's exactly what I've been waiting for as a fan. Now, it would have been cool to see him kind of create that carnage, but you see enough carnage in this movie to be like, all right, I'll take an off-screen blood splattering moment. This Jason is absolutely relentless. I guess what I'm getting at for this last like of this movie is that Jason just goes on a tear, and it's great the whole time. Like, I don't know if ratings were holding back the previous movies or what was going on in those movies. So sometimes there were movies where they would cut away, and then you had the 3D effect in the other movie that I just didn't like, and then part 5, I didn't like any of those kills. But in this movie, every kill seems earned. Every kill is fun. I enjoyed that. And those are all the things I like about this movie. Now, let's get into the things I dislike. There's only 2, but I feel they're important enough to mention. The first is how they end this. Like, okay, so you've got Jason is now a zombie, can't be killed. And they take that chain, that boulder, because they're going to weigh him down to the bottom of the lake. I liked that, don't get me wrong. But just like the previous movies, if Jason takes on more than one person, he's going to lose every time. And that trope stays the same, because you got Tommy Jarvis in the boat, and he's trying to weigh him down with that boulder, and he finally is able to after several fake out scenes, which I liked that scene. But after several fake out scenes, he finally gets it around his neck, gets him in the bottom of the lake, but Jason's like, I'm not going out that easy. Then the girl jumps in, and she starts helping him out, and as soon as they do that, she's able to turn that motor on and kind of cut into the back of Jason's head. And the point is, if he's got more than one person to fight, he loses. That's just how it goes. So it's a trope from these movies. Whatever, okay. That's it, but it is a dislike. The other thing is the little kids in this movie. Now, in the last review, I was very upset that he killed like the mental patients, and I didn't want to see Jason like just slaughter a bunch of innocent kids. There might have been a place for that in this movie because the rest of it was done so well. There might have been a place to not show the kid's death, but maybe show the aftermath. Maybe. But what I'm getting at here is that Jason at one point has like a moment with one of the kids where he leans over the kid and he's kind of looking at her. And I thought like, oh, maybe at the time, I was like, maybe he sees himself as a kid still, even though he's this crazy zombie that's like killing everybody. Maybe he sees himself as that kid that drowned in the lake once, so he sympathizes with these kids. But then I'm like, but wait, in part 4, he definitely went after Tommy Jarvis, who was a little kid. So back and forth. I mean, I don't know. Again, that part, not necessary, unless it's important to future movies, which it might be. But I know we're coming up on part 8 where he takes Manhattan. I know about that movie. So my point is, maybe they give a justification for it in part 7. But if they don't, it's okay, because I really did enjoy this movie overall. Ultimately, guys, I really had a great time with this movie. It's a movie I could see myself revisiting even as soon as this Halloween. Like, I thought it was a good slasher movie, and I enjoyed it from start to finish. It kept me invested the entire time, and it also had a lot of fun kills throughout. The final thing I'll say about this movie, because even though I already talked about my likes, I've got to talk about this. It's that soundtrack in the end by Alice Cooper with Man in the Mask. How have I not heard that? I mean, I guess I've never seen this movie, so I never would have sought it out. But that's awesome. That song was great. I was listening to it this morning. I was making breakfast for the kids, and I was listening to Man Behind the Mask. I was like, he's the man behind the mask. You get the idea. I had a great time with it. That's what I'm trying to say. So guys, if you have not checked out Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, then you definitely should. I definitely recommend it. Even if you don't like the Friday the 13th series, I think you'll enjoy this movie. And those are all my thoughts on Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. If you enjoyed this review, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the share button if you want your friends to see this review. If you have seen Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, and you have thoughts and comments, well, put your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. Let me know if you're a big Friday the 13th fan. Is this one of your favorites? Like, would you put this in the top, or is this not? Am I on the outside? Do people like the more campier ones? Although, not that this one wasn't campy, but you get the idea. This one was definitely a step above, in my opinion, the last 5 movies. But maybe I'm in the minority. So let me know your thoughts, your opinions about Friday the 13th Part 6 in the comment section down below, because I'd love to go back and forth with you guys. And then finally, guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you do that, because I got a lot of content coming your way. I've been putting out about a brand new movie review every weekend, and then I've been doing like a throwback horror movie. Lately, it's been Friday the 13th, and next weekend, I will continue with my Friday the 13th review series with Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. I'm looking forward to it now. Like, I'm actually looking forward to checking out that movie. So thanks for watching this, guys. I'll see you next time. And uploading. There we go. What's up? What am I listening to? Oh, it's called The Man Behind the Mask. Well, it's called He's Back, but it's The Man Behind the Mask. It's from Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. If you haven't heard it, you got to. You haven't. Okay, but you definitely need to hear it. Well, just give it a listen right now.